Have you ever wondered why so many people over 70 feel constantly exhausted? If you're in that age group or care about someone who is, what I'm about to share could completely transform your daily life. That overwhelming fatigue that's become so familiar isn't just a normal part of aging a verbose. There's a shocking truth behind it that most doctors never mention. It's not your imagination, and you're not alone in this struggle. Millions of seniors wake up tired despite a full night's sleep, experience that dreaded midday crash, and find themselves unable to enjoy activities they once loved simply because their energy reserves seem permanently depleted. By the end of this video, you'll understand the real reasons behind this persistent tiredness, and more importantly, what you can do about it. I'm going to share insights that many healthcare professionals don't discuss during your standard 15-minute appointments. These aren't complicated medical interventions. They're practical, science-backed strategies that anyone can implement. So stay with me, because this information could be the key to unlocking a more energetic, vibrant life after 70. Many of us have watched our parents or grandparents gradually slow down as they age. Take Margaret, for instance. At 75, she used to be the life of every family gathering, always cooking elaborate meals and planning activities. But lately, she can barely stay awake past 7 p.m. and needs to rest multiple times throughout the day. Her grandchildren have noticed the change, commenting that Grandma isn't fun anymore. Iju? Words that broke Margaret's heart. When she brought these concerns to her doctor, he simply told her, "Well, you're getting older. That's just what happens." He suggested she lower her expectations for what her days might look like moving forward. But is that really the whole story? Should Margaret E. Hugh, and millions like her EU, simply accept this dramatic reduction in quality of life as inevitable? Is constant fatigue truly the admission price for the privilege of growing older? After diving deep into the research and consulting with specialists who focus specifically on vitality and aging, I discovered that the answer is a resounding no. There's so much more to this story than most healthcare providers have time to explain. The truth is that age-related fatigue isn't simply an inevitable part of getting older. It's a complex interplay of several physiological changes that can be addressed once you understand them. What's particularly fascinating is that these changes don't affect everyone equally. We all know those exceptional individuals in their 80s or even 90s who seem to have boundless energy, while others struggle with debilitating fatigue decades earlier. The difference often lies not in their genes, but in how certain biological processes are supported or neglected. First, let's talk about what's happening in your body at the cellular level. As we age, our cells' mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses responsible for energy production, become less efficient. Think of mitochondria as the batteries within each cell. In your youth, these batteries were fully charged and held that charge well. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that by age 70, these cellular power plants may produce up to 50% less energy than they did in your 40s. It's as if someone has replaced all your high-performance batteries with partially drained ones, but that's just the beginning. Sleep architecture. The pattern and quality of your sleep changes dramatically with age. Many seniors experience decreased deep sleep, the most restorative phase, even when they're sleeping the same number of hours. Dr. Elena Martinez, a sleep specialist at Stanford, explains, the average 70-year-old might spend only 5% of their night in deep sleep, compared to 15 to 20% for younger adults. This means even 8 hours of sleep doesn't provide the same restoration it once did. Hormonal changes play a critical role too. Melatonin, your sleep hormone, decreases with age. Testosterone declines in men, while women experience estrogen. And progesterone drops, all hormones that influence energy levels. Your thyroid function may slow, affecting your metabolic rate. These aren't just minor changes, ichiwaku. They fundamentally alter how your body produces and manages energy. Inflammation increases with age, creating what scientists call inflammaging, a chronic low-grade inflammation that drains energy, resources. Nutrient absorption decreases, meaning the food you eat doesn't fuel your body as efficiently as it once did. Your body literally gets less energy from the same meal than it did decades ago. What many don't realize is that these changes create a vicious cycle. Feeling tired leads to less physical activity, which weakens muscles and decreases cardiovascular fitness, making everyday tasks require more effort, which causes more fatigue. It's not just in your head, These physiological changes are real, measurable, and impactful. But here's the good news. Understanding these mechanisms means we can directly address them. Let me tell you about Robert, a 78-year-old former teacher who could barely make it through dinner with his grandchildren without nodding off. After learning about these age-related changes, he made some targeted adjustments to his routine. 3 months later, he was not only staying awake for family game nights, but beating everyone at cards. His secret wasn't some miracle pill, It was addressing these specific biological changes head-on. So, what exactly did Robert and others like him do to reclaim their energy? The interesting part is that these weren't drastic lifestyle overhauls or complicated medical interventions. When I interviewed Robert about his transformation, he emphasized that it was a series of small, consistent adjustments that yielded dramatic results. "I didn't change everything overnight," he told me. "I started with just 1 or 2 suggestions and built from there." This gradual approach made the changes sustainable, the key factor that sets successful energy recovery. Apart from temporary fixes, let's break it down into practical steps anyone can take, starting with the most impactful interventions first. First, optimize your sleep environment. Since your sleep quality naturally decreases with age, making your sleep environment as conducive to rest as possible becomes crucial. Keep your bedroom cool, Around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit is optimal. Invest in blackout curtains to block light disruption, and consider using white noise to mask disturbances. Many seniors find that upgrading their mattress makes a tremendous difference in sleep quality. Next, time your nutrients strategically. Dr. Mark Williams, a geriatric nutritionist, recommends a protein-rich breakfast within 30 minutes of waking to jumpstart your metabolism. Aim for 25 to 30 grams of protein in your morning meal, he advises. This helps stabilize blood sugar and provide sustained energy throughout the morning. Incorporate magnesium-rich foods like spinach, nuts, and whole grains, as this mineral is essential for cellular energy production and is often deficient in older adults. Movement is medicine, but timing matters. Short, frequent movement. Breaks throughout the day help combat the afternoon energy slump better than one longer exercise session. Elizabeth Chen, a 72-year-old who implemented this approach, shares, "I used to crash every day around 2 p.m. Now I take 3 10-minute walks spread throughout the day, and I haven't needed an afternoon nap in months." Consider circadian rhythm training. Your body's internal clock weakens with age, but you can strengthen it. The most powerful method? Getting 10-15 minutes of direct morning sunlight within an hour of waking. This signals to your brain that it's daytime and helps regulate your sleep-wake cycle. Janet, 81, started having her morning coffee on her porch regardless of weather. Within 2 weeks, I started naturally waking up refreshed instead of groggy, and my evening fatigue disappeared, she reports. Address inflammation. Through your diet. Research published in the Journal of Gerontology found that reducing inflammatory foods like refined carbohydrates and increasing anti-inflammatory ones like fatty fish, berries, and turmeric led to significant energy improvements in adults over 70. Henry, 76, eliminated white bread and pasta from his diet and replaced them with sweet potatoes and quinoa. The difference was noticeable within days, he says. It was like someone turned my power back on. Supplement wisely, but selectively. While not all supplements live up to their claims, several have solid research behind them for age-related fatigue. CoQ10, a compound that supports mitochondrial function, declines dramatically with age. Dr. Sophia Patel, a geriatrician at Mayo Clinic, often recommends 100 to 200 milliliters daily for her older patients experiencing fatigue. Vitamin B12 absorption decreases with age, making deficiency common even with a good diet. A simple blood test can determine if you're low. These interventions aren't just anecdotal aim. They're backed by research. A 2-year study from the University of California followed 250 adults over 70 who implemented similar changes. Participants reported an average 60% reduction in daytime fatigue and a 40% increase in self-reported energy levels. The control group, who made no changes, continued to experience increasing fatigue. What's particularly encouraging is how quickly many people notice a difference. While some changes like muscle rebuilding take time, many report improvements in energy within just 7-14 days of implementing these strategies. Barbara, 84, was skeptical, but decided to try the morning sunlight and protein breakfast approach. By the end of the first week, I noticed I wasn't needing my afternoon nap. By the second week, I was gardening again. Utahboras. Something I'd given up because I was too tired. The ripple effects extend beyond just energy levels. When you're not constantly exhausted, your mood improves. Cognitive function sharpens. Social isolation often decreases, as you have the energy to engage again. Family relationships improve when you can fully participate instead of just observing from the sidelines. Think about what this could mean for your life, or the life of someone you love. Imagine waking up actually feeling rested, with that morning fog lifted. Picture having the steady energy to engage fully in hobbies again, whether it's gardening, woodworking, painting, or whatever brings you joy. Envision being able to spend quality time with grandchildren without constantly checking the clock, wondering how soon you can politely excuse yourself to rest. Consider the freedom of being able to travel again, to explore new places without structuring every day around nap times and early bedtimes. The implications extend beyond just physical energy. Dr. Liam Chen, a neurologist specializing in aging, explains that energy levels and cognitive function are intimately connected. When we address fatigue in older adults, we often see improvements in memory, processing speed, and overall mental clarity. Many seniors report that beyond just feeling more physically capable, they experience a renewed sense of optimism and mental sharpness when their energy returns. This isn't just about adding years to life, it's about adding vibrant, engaged, meaningful life to years. Let's recap the key insights we've discussed. First, the fatigue that many experience after 70 isn't simply old age, shiwaru. It's caused by specific physiological changes that can be addressed. Your mitochondria become less efficient, sleep quality decreases, hormones shift, inflammation increases, and nutrient absorption declines. These create a cycle that perpetuates itself unless interrupted. The solution lies in targeted approaches, optimizing your sleep environment, strategic nutrition with proper timing, consistent but brief movement throughout the day, circadian rhythm, training, reducing inflammatory foods, and selective supplementation where necessary. These aren't radical interventions, yasrus. They're accessible adjustments that work with your body's changing physiology. I want to emphasize something important. While these changes can dramatically improve energy levels for many people, persistent fatigue should always be discussed with healthcare providers. Sometimes fatigue can signal underlying conditions like anemia, thyroid disorders, or heart problems that require medical attention. The strategies we've discussed work best alongside proper medical care, not in place of it. If you found this information valuable, please hit that like button, AE-Grow. It helps others find this content who might be struggling with the same issues. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel for more evidence-based health information, specifically designed for enhancing life after 70. Type "energized" in the comments if you're ready to implement these changes, or share which tip resonated most with you. Remember, feeling constantly exhausted isn't something you have to accept as inevitable. When Margaret, who I mentioned at the beginning, implemented just 3 of these strategies, as EQ, morning sunlight exposure, protein-rich breakfasts, and regular movement breaks, EQ dias, she reported feeling like someone turned the lights back on. 6 months later, she's back to hosting Sunday dinners and has even started a walking group in her community. Her grandchildren no longer talk about how tired Grandma always is. Instead, they sometimes joke that they can barely keep up with her. With the right knowledge and targeted approaches, you can reclaim your energy and vitality just like Margaret, Robert, Janet, and countless others have. Don't settle for merely getting through each day when you could be fully experiencing it. Instead, here's to more vibrant, energetic days ahead, because your later years should be some of your best. They should be a time of wisdom, meaningful connection, and continued growth. Not a time of simply enduring each day. If you found value in this information, please help us spread this message by hitting that like button and sharing this video with someone who might benefit. And make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on so you don't miss our upcoming videos on optimizing health and vitality as you age.